nose clean. Last thing I want is to charge you for a DP, an AMD, B&E, or heaven forbid, an MS. But at least then we wouldn't have to worry about the VOP, am I right?
May I help you?
Hi.
You didn't hear this from me, but those ecliptic mercenaries...
I've never been in a battle before. Everyone kept telling me to keep my eyes closed, but it's kind of hard to do that when you're running. At first, I thought it was ecliptic mercenaries shooting at us, but it wasn't. It was these other people yelling about serpents and stuff.
I hear Geppetto has started making real robots. Will they be humanoid? That's kind of...
Yeah, it was like, snakes and serpents will eat you all, rah, the stars will squeeze you, rah, or something like that. I think they need psychiatric help. When it comes to Ecliptic, I know everything. It's not like it's a secret. They're mercenaries, so they work for money. And it's like, for enough money, they'll do anything. I've heard a couple of SSNN stories about them. My dad says they're horrible. Like they can pretend they're working for someone and it's official, so they do anything they want.
What was the name of that guy, the contact for the job?
It's fine. My dad just has terrible navigation skills. My mom says it all the time. I just hope they don't take too long. I'm sure that foster family is nice, but anyway, I'm fine now. I hope my parents don't take too long getting here.
May I help you?
Sergeant Hume is looking for reliable people to help the guard. Contact him if you're interested. We'd all appreciate it.
Hello.
I think I'm going to get one. Okay, sounds good. Quoi de neuf?
My boss says that if I buy enough of our merchandise, she'll give me a promotion.
Hey.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. You know, there's nothing wrong with breakfast for dinner. For lunch or dessert. It's all food.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Waffles,
Not sure if
pancakes, and
those
breakfast
Varun
burgers.
zealots live in
Like
space
the
or
menus
got
break
separated
with
from their home planet or what, but they scavenge what they need. Lots of old facilities left over from the colony war, and they like to pick them clean.
Seriously. Now
Okay, no bounty. You're clear. Enjoy your visit.
Well, hello. You hear about the job by any chance? The officer over there can help you with any bounty issues. You did, huh? Gotta admit, I was against the sign at first. Felt cheesy, you know? Like we're hiring a dishwasher or one of those dancing clowns. But here you are. Can't argue with effectiveness. And if nothing else, New Atlantis security is just that. Effective. When we're fully staffed, that is. But we're not. Long story. And need some help. You interested? Well, first things first, I have to ask, do you have any security experience at all? It sure counts for something. I mean, you're alive. And resilience is definitely an important trait for any officer. Well, I think I've heard all I need. Your first assignment couldn't be easier. Go to Mast and check in with Agent Plato at Aegis. There was a package left at a dead drop, and they need UC security to handle it. He'll fill you in on the details. Aegis? They're basically UC intelligence. They help identify threats to New Atlantis before they become problems. While we're separate departments, there are times we need to rely on each other, so it's important to keep a good working relationship. We do Agent Plato this favor, and maybe he'll toss us some intel when an investigation's stalled. Tit for tat. You know how it works. Well, just because you're bringing it here doesn't mean that's where it'll end up. As for why, you can ask Aegis. As far as I'm concerned, it's none of my business. You know, MAST, the Military, Administrative, and Scientific Triumvirate. Giant building in the center of the city? Headquarters of the entire United Colonies? I really should have given you a more thorough interview. Let me know if you have any questions.
If you'll excuse me.
You know, I went to chef school. This ain't exactly where I saw myself.
What?
Testing my patience. Give it back. Don't try that again. I think I got them... What do you call them? Corns? Yeah, I got corns. bartender at the viewport would stop complaining to security. I don't know what she lost, but she won't get it back by annoying us.
Hey, no funny stuff with that boost pack. Got enough flight traffic as it is.
Do not bother me. I have nothing to say. I am a prisoner, trapped by a weak people who do not kill their enemies when they should. The Great Serpent called me to fight the unbelievers in the United Colonies, but I was ambushed and my ship disabled. Now I am here.
How's the investigation going?
that again? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Don't look at me. I haven't got a clue.
Think about it. If a neuroamp helps you get a better job, it basically pays for itself. I think I'm going to get one.
Really? I wouldn't use it.
Oh man, I'm running late for the meeting. What time is it?
Don't look at me, I haven't got a clue.
How you liking that laser gun? Pew pew.
This is New Atlantis Transit, or the NAT. It provides free transportation throughout the city. We can take it directly to the Mast District.
Too late for that. You've got a family to think of.
But the kids are older now. By this time next year, they'll all have jobs of their own.
Do you have room for one more on your crew? Ballistic weapon systems. I specialize in using those types of weapons to punch holes in your target's hull. No more than the average crew person's salary. Why is that? I seem to attract the types with big talk and empty pockets. Enough already. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. Don't think I'm desperate or anything, but you do have a point. You drive a hard bargain, but I'm on board. What's my assignment? No problem, Captain.
Hey there! You look like the planet-hopping type. Got any room on your ship for someone like me? Plenty. I'm comfortable on a ship, especially in the gunner seat. I'm also a trained expert with shotguns. I have the certification to prove it. Aye aye, Captain. I won't overcharge you. I'm grateful for the offer. I've been out of a job since I left the Freestar Rangers. You're short on credits? Don't think I'm desperate or anything, but you do have a point. Well, the last thing I want is you going bankrupt on my account. I'll work for whatever you can pay. Ah, I see. Well, no harm done. Save your money to take care of yourself.
Good to see you again. Can I get you something? Hey there. Always nice to see a new face. First time in New Atlantis? Oh boy. I didn't mean for you to take it personally. It's just something to say to customers. Break the ice. Know what I mean? Listen, you just relax. Make yourself comfortable. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. That work for you, new guy? Let me know if there's anything I can get you. Yep. Spaceport traffic keeps me pretty busy. But just between you and me, I've got something in the works that'll change everything. A new drink that'll make this place famous, galaxy-wide. Well, at the moment, it's what's not in it that's an issue right now. I don't have everything for the recipe. I made a deal with a hauler to bring me some small samples of an ingredient I think will make all the difference. But it never showed up. Turns out the guy I hired was also hired by a few other folks. The kind of folks who ship less than legal cargo. Security got wind, and the whole lot was impounded. Now they're just sitting on it, taking their sweet time like they always do. It's killing me. Ah, yes. What with all these extra credits cluttering up the place, why didn't I think of that? Sorry, snark isn't helpful. This stuff was pricey to get a hold of the first time. I submitted all the paperwork, believe me. It won't amount to anything, but I did it. And really, I'm not even certain this is what I need to finish the recipe. I think it is. I need to get my hands on that cargo. I mean, doing something about this won't exactly be on the straight and narrow, will it? I really do. It's gonna keep me awake nights if I don't try. Before we say anything else, I am in no way asking you to do anything that might violate any of the many, many laws in place here in New Atlantis or the larger United Colonies. This is just one friend talking to another friend, asking if maybe that friend could possibly find a way to get her important cargo out of the impound. And if, hypothetically, that were done in a less than 100% legal way, well, that might not be the worst thing in the world. You, with me on this? God, you have no idea what a relief this is. I'm obviously not expecting you or anyone to go in guns blazing and taking hostages or something. I just figure there has to be a way to get what I need. I know a few things, but not much. The cargo is being held down at the spaceport, not in the security office. Still, they use the same access cards. If you had one, it'd work. How or why you would have a UC security access card is none of my business, of course. I'm sure I'm better off not knowing. Beyond that, the ship decks over there might also be able to get in. I don't know any of them, or I'd be talking to them instead of you. No offense. Like I said, I submitted the usual security release forms. But because my cargo is tied up with a bunch of, again, totally unrelated illegal stuff, I don't expect the forms to matter. At all. I went and talked to an officer at the office, too. Yumi. Sergeant, maybe? He was polite, but unhelpful. I declined to suggest that as their new slogan. New Atlanta Security. Polite, but unhelpful. Truth in advertising, eh? Yeah, this is hardly a life or death situation. Some light breaking and entering at worst, right? I hear there's some sort of citizens group trying to get the old Valroon embassy torn down. When I first heard about it, I thought it was a bit extreme, but really, would you want to move into that place? Me neither. And it's not like they're ever coming back. House Valroon, I mean? Well, at least not make nice and be all diplomatic. We all know how that went. You know, I had a guy in here last week ranting that General Shao ought to send the Marines down into the well. I'm usually all for letting folks speak their mind. Most times it can't be helped after a few drinks. But that was just too much. Anybody stuck living in the well, it almost certainly isn't by choice. And things down there aren't that bad. Bit of a slow news day around here. Ah, well, speaking of news, some folks are convinced David Barron, you know, the SSN anchor, is some sort of Freestar sympathizer. Ridiculous, if you ask me. Sure, they ran a couple of stories about Aquila City that weren't totally critical, but come on. Have you ever been? It's really not that bad. Anyway, that's the sort of high-stakes stuff people talk up while waiting on a flight. So glad you asked, aren't you? I can tell. Bit of a slow news day around here. Ah, well, speaking of news, some folks are convinced David... Ridiculous, if you ask me. Anyway. You're in the right place. Catch you later.
Not used to people coming up to me. The suit usually scares them off. Although I guess that's my fault, isn't it? I guess you could say I've always had it. Once you've been all over, like I have, you might find yourself in something like this, too. Yeah, I go all over. A little psychological warfare up front tends to make things easier. Retired, actually. From too many lives to count. But I've been all those things, yeah? And a few more. I spend a lot of time in the fringes these days. God help you if you come across something someone wants. You'd think it was things like civilizations and factions that cause people to want to shoot each other. No, even without that, it's still winner take all. Oh, you're on to me. Yeah, you got that right. Wait a second. I think I'm in danger of having a real conversation with someone for a change. Better stop here. I'm sure we'll see each other again.
Anything I can do for you?
Never a dull day in the big city.
Oh, sure. There's always tons of travel into New Atlantis, so there's no shortage of people to meet. I love talking with the new people and hearing about their journeys. Not to mention, it's also nice and safe. Unlike my brother's job. He's a Marine, and if that wasn't bad enough, he's stationed in Sidonia. He keeps telling me it's safe and how he loves his job, but I just worry about him so much. All I ever hear about Sidonia is how many people get hurt in accidents there. I just pray that he'll be okay. I hope you're right. I just have such a hard time believing that, though. But, oh my, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to dump all of that onto you. It just feels good to get it all off my chest. There's a huge tree in the Embassy District, across from the mass station. Trust me, it may sound dumb, but I think everyone should see it at least once when they're in the city. It's so cool. Or maybe I just love trees. Until next time.
I don't want to sound desperate, but any luck finding my cargo?
Excuse me.
Enjoys this establishment. He frequently buys chocolate here, though I have informed him repeatedly it is likely a significant contributing factor to his being overweight.
If it belongs on your ship, then I'm sure we have it for sale. Hi there! Thanks for stopping in. Feel free to look around. I can take care of transactions, and if you've got questions, just ask. Thanks. It's hard work, but it all pays off in the end. And I can't take all the credit. Gerhardt, my business partner, he does so much of the work behind the scenes. If it weren't for him, I don't know where we'd be now. Oh, please, take a look. Thanks for coming in.
It's amazing what passes as art nowadays. Selling art is a bit of an art itself, you know. Indeed, I am. I've been an art dealer for most of my life, plying my trade all across the settled systems. It's actually why I'm here in New Atlantis today. I'll be delivering a piece of art to a very particular client later. However, I don't yet have the art in my possession. Actually, would you like to pick up the artwork and bring it back to me? I'll reward you for your effort, of course. I'm not very familiar with the streets of New Atlantis. I'm not from here, you see. I'd rather just avoid any trouble and have someone more capable do the exchange for me. You simply need to go pick up some artwork. The exchange has already been arranged and you won't have to show any credits. It's just a matter of picking something up and bringing it back to me. There's really no need to worry. It's all very simple. Excellent. You'll be picking up the art from Zoe Kaminsky at the Trade Authority. Tell her you're there for Samson Jabrel's art. She'll understand. Return the artwork to me, and you will be compensated. Well, of course they do. Why wouldn't they? I've heard tell that you can get some very impressive items at the Trade Authority. But for now, let's settle for the artwork that I've procured. In a sense, my trade doesn't necessarily need me to be tied down in one location. Because of that, I travel all over the settled systems. I'm here now for an opportunity, but before this, I was in Aquila. Before that, Neon. In my line of work, I can't afford to stay in one place for very long. Other than being an art dealer, there's not much to say. I grew up in Neon, and I knew I had to get out of that place somehow. I did a few odd jobs, some deliveries, and it eventually led me onto this path I'm on now. I never thought I'd do what I do, but I suppose life can be surprising. Goodbye.
excited to see Tony after work. I have a feeling today's going to be a great day. Don't you agree? Oh, hi there. I'm doing great. How about you? Glad to hear it. Yeah, life is good, isn't it? I've been trying to save up enough money so that I can go explore the settled systems with my boyfriend, Tony. I think we're finally getting close. Tony and I want to see what else is out there. I love my job, but there has to be more to life than just being a janitor in New Atlantis. What about you? Have you gone on any adventures? That's amazing. I'm so jealous. One day you'll have to tell me and Tony all about them, okay? Not too bad. Found a box of pens the other day. You'd be amazed at what people leave lying around.
Absolutely.
Really? Well, I guess you're right. I'm feeling a bit run down. I really love my job, but it's hard work and long hours. I could definitely use a Terracino from Terra Brew right now. Really? That's so sweet. I really appreciate it. Well, that depends. Are you a foodie or a shopper? I guess I won't ask. But there is a place called The Well that might be more your style. I don't go down there myself. It can be pretty dangerous. Don't be a stranger.
Released a press statement saying that the mark was accurate and the tracker in question didn't hurt anyone. But if history is any judge, it's only a matter of time before an incident occurs with a more tragic outcome.
The water is quite aesthetically pleasing, or so Barrett has told me. New Atlantis relies on advanced hydroelectrics for most of its power.
President Abeyo isn't the same as her predecessors. That an adversarial UC is a thing of the past.
Does Radcliffe even need to be involved?
President Abeyo wants to foster relations, not fracture them. Keep up.
We'll make sure she knows, ma'am.
Good. I'll see you at the 11:30 then. I have somewhere to be. You understand.
I think you've got me mistaken for someone else.
I'm not feeling that bad.
We have an appointment. You're seeing the doctor. That's it.
Maybe some other time. I have that report that's due.
I talked to your boss. She agreed that you need to take care of yourself. I know it's tough, honey, but a lot of times the earlier they catch something, the better it is.
You're right. I know you're right. I just wish they wouldn't keep us waiting so long.
You have to
telling
trust the
myself
science.
that Reliant
Medical
Medical
knowledge.
is top-notch.
It's taken weeks of talking to get my wife to come here. The doctors better get here quickly.
The procedure is no risk, but that still means risk.
We may be in a United Colonies city, But Constellation is an entirely neutral entity, and always has been.
The well's been having brownouts all the time. Mast finally sent someone down there, but nothing's changed.
Should unlock if you hold up the watch that Barrett gave you. I have messaged the other members of Constellation. They will be waiting for us inside. Everyone will be in the library, just inside. If Barrett were here, he'd probably tell you that you're part of something bigger now, and he hopes you'll make this place your home. This way, Captain.
You two keep going on like this, and I'm banning wages. I'm serious.
We'll play nice. Just a friendly conversation, Sarah, that's all.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about. Would you care to tell us what happened to our friend? Why you're here and he isn't? Very well. This is a private organization dedicated to exploration. Space primarily, but also anomalies throughout the settled systems. It's inherently dangerous work, so if one of our own doesn't show up as planned, then we tend to have questions. Speaking of which, where is Barrett? Sarah Morgan, Chair of Constellation. That means anything you discussed with Barrett is my business. Now, if you would please answer my question. I see. Vasco, verify.
All statements made have been factual.
This is just typical. Barrett hands over our ship and our robot to some random employee of that discount mining outfit he uses.
Walter.
And if we hadn't insisted on installing those emergency protocols, I guarantee you this rock breaker here would be halfway to Neon.
But that didn't happen. He's here with the artifact.
Thank you, Matteo. Now, let's focus on what's in front of us, shall we? What happened when it was extracted? Did anyone see anything? Hear anything? We think it's anyone else who pulls one out of the rock for the first time. Why? We're not sure yet. So if you wouldn't mind adding another data point. Interesting. Similar to Barrett's description of the experience, with less embellishment.
Are you hearing this? Do you all believe me now?
Whether it happened or not wasn't in doubt. Honestly, Country, you expect us to believe it fairy.
If this is the greatest mystery in the universe, why couldn't it be part of the ultimate mystery?
Gentlemen, can we please focus? Noelle, I think it's time we tested your theory.
Right. Let's see. We know the artifacts react to each other. The pieces we already have move when they're in close contact. Now, if we add this new one to the two we already have...
The artifact. If you could place it on the table here.
That's it. Just like the others. And to imagine, we thought there were only two of them at first.
Oh my god, that's it. They're reacting. Look at how it's coming together. That energy that's arcing between them, no manufactured material in the solar systems can do that. None of them. This proves...
Easy, girl. Breathe. You'll have a heart attack.
She's not the only one. If they're coming together, that means there's a set.
Built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
Still 2,000 credits for our little wager?
You're on, Walter.
Well, if we had all the answers, it wouldn't be exciting, now would it?
Not to take away from the moment, but what are we going to do about our new friend?
So, are you ready to get to work? See if exploration is the life you want to lead in this little universe of ours? Individually, they're just odd hunks of metal. Another oddity from the uncharted reaches of space. As to what they are, what they're building, well, you'll be part of solving that puzzle now. We're all here because we're committed to exploring space. Humanity may have settled the stars, but that doesn't mean we should stop diving into the unknown. Beyond that, you'll be expected to use your own judgment, just like the rest of us. You should take some time to get settled in. Introduce yourself to everyone. Some of our members aren't here, but you'll meet them soon. Come find me when you're ready. You and I are going to be doing some traveling together. Get your feet wet. And here, I think you've earned something for bringing the artifact to us. In addition to credits, why don't we set you up with a backpack with some boost capability? You'll need it out in the field anyway. Just mind your head.
Ever since I got here, this has felt like home. These people are family. I hope it feels that way for you too. That was intense, wasn't it? The artifacts, I mean. Sorry, this must all be a little overwhelming for you right now. I guess a lot overwhelming, now that I think about it. I'm Noelle. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for bringing the artifact to us. Planning on sticking around then? Good. I think we can find a spot for you. And along the way, I can give you the very abbreviated tour. Right. So you've seen the library, obviously. Walter's quite proud of the collection, but Mateo has made more than a few contributions. Gardens are out the doors there, if you need a moment of quiet contemplation. Emphasis on the quiet part, at least usually. Let's head upstairs. Sebastian Banks, Constellation's founder, had this place built decades ago. It was a big to-do at the time, but most people in the city have forgotten we're here. So this is the bar. Usually no tender, so help yourself, within reason, of course. Now let's see about that room. You're in luck. We were almost at max occupancy already, but there's still one room up for grabs. It's been nice having the place so full. Okay, this'll be you. Common room on one side, so that'll be quiet, and Mateo on the other side, so maybe a little less quiet. I'm sure Sarah has something planned for each of us, so I'd better get back to it. Don't want to keep her waiting too long. Enjoy!
shortage of opportunities.
There are days that are tough, sure. But if I weren't here, I wouldn't even know about all the incredible things we're discovering.
Walter Stroud. How may I assist you?
Oh, no, I don't need anything. Just, checking in, seeing how you're doing.
At present, all systems are functioning well within established parameters.
Right. Well then, keep up the good work.
Yes, Walter Stroud. I will. your service, Captain. Captain, now that you are a member of Constellation, I am at your service. No additional protocols necessary. Also, given the likelihood that you will be out in unsettled space, it might be beneficial to go over exploration outpost development, in case you ever need to build a base for field research. The exploration of an unknown planet can be a major undertaking. By building an outpost, you will be able to construct scanning equipment, resource extractors, and defenses. It is even possible to set up multiple outposts capable of manufacturing, allowing you to build advanced equipment. A planetary scan will reveal the presence of key inorganic resources, although rarer elements will be harder to find without training. And while a scan may detect the presence of life on a planet, you will have to analyze the native plants and animals yourself to know what compounds they produce. The scan booster is the most obvious, as it will enable you to detect landmarks and other points of interest from further away. Beyond that, extractors will allow you to collect raw materials of various types, while fabricators enable the manufacturing. A particularly prosperous outpost may even warrant the construction of cargo links, allowing you to share resources between other outposts you have built. The blueprints you need to construct an outpost should already be on your watch. It will automatically connect to any available materials for construction in your ship's cargo. My primary function has been to support and protect Barrett during his travels. I am currently unable to do so. That is as capable as I can be of missing anyone. I believe Barrett would find your question amusing. Barrett has, thus far, survived every mission on which we have embarked. It is therefore evident that my efforts have been successful. I suspect that Barrett would disagree with how necessary my intervention has been in any given situation. I arrived along with many material goods purchased by the group's previous chair, Malcolm Livingstone. Despite several significant system replacements and upgrades, I have been online for 43 years. Captain Reynolds, I will proceed to my assigned post.
I know everyone's excited by the artifacts, but we need to be as objective as possible and be aware of possible negative effects.
Well, I suppose that station in orbit has more than paid for itself at this point. Take note. Everyone here is worth learning from. Yes, even the kid. Well, I suppose calling you a rock breaker may have been a bit out of line. Still doesn't excuse it. My frustrations lie more with Barrett, not the first time his shenanigans have jeopardized one of our ventures. Not fair of me to take it out on you, especially since it would seem he made the right call this time. So, let's start over, shall we? Walter Stroud, CEO of Stroud Eklund, member of Constellation, and oft-times grumpy old man. Welcome aboard. Yes, well, a stocked bar is a treat I think Constellation can afford. For now. But if you clean us out, you're on your own. By the way, in addition to a place to stay, the Lodge has a wealth of modification and research equipment. Spacesuit customization, pharmaceutical manufacturing, testing alien substances, the whole thing. You can even fashion industrial pieces for large-scale projects, if you don't mind extracting a few raw resources from a nearby planet, that is. I'm a fan of self-reliance, so I encourage you to make use of the tools we have to build what you need. We're most well known for ship manufacture. No expense spared. If you want the best and can afford it, you choose Stroud Eklund. Unfortunately, our success means you'll sometimes see Stroud Eklund ship modules on less than reputable vessels. They covet them. The bastards. I've tried to convince the United Colonies we can help in that regard, but they're married to Deimos Star Yards, and those old salts are stuck in the glory days. Up until very recently, I'd likely have dismissed it as, I don't know, hallucinations. But now, I'm not sure what to think. I don't suppose you have a history of this sort of thing, do you? Well, clearly the sarcasm center of your brain is intact. I'm no scientist. I leave that to the likes of Barrett and young Noel there. But I think we can all agree there's something unusual going on here. Frankly, this is the most exciting thing that's happened in years. Me? Why, I'm the wallet. Someone has to fund all this, and all my success in business doesn't mean much if I can't put it to good use. I don't pretend to have the daring of Ms. Morgan, or the smarts of young Mateo, but I can make sure that they have the resources they need. And, as you've now seen, those resources aren't being wasted. We're onto something big here. Funny thing about companies, you build one sturdy enough, it doesn't need you there all the time to prop it up. Stroud Eklund functions quite well on a day-to-day basis, leaving me time to devote to more esoteric pursuits. For years, I was captivated by the writings of Constellation's founder, Sebastian Banks. I finally decided to do something more than admire from a distance, and so now I call the Lodge home, as much as anywhere else. Until next time.
I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this. Constellation, the artifacts. That doesn't sound crazy, does it? Are you doing okay? I'm not sure anyone really asked yet. Don't want you to think we're focused on the artifacts and nothing else. You matter too. You've done something really significant bringing that artifact here. I'm Mateo. Theological scholar by trade, but now, well, an explorer like you. It's really good to have you with us. Second one was on Kazal, buried the same as the one you found. But the first one, right under our noses for years, sitting in storage, masquerading as an oversized paperweight. Can you imagine potentially the greatest discovery in human history collecting dust? I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I could have seen this for myself. It's hard to judge otherwise. Both you and Barrett saw something. I don't think that's a coincidence. Did it feel like it was trying to tell you something? I don't want to necessarily use the words divine revelation, but, you know, if the label fits. It has to be, right? All of this is connected. We just need to figure out how and why. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We just need more data, which means more artifacts. Well, there was some overlap in interests. I'd spent years searching for religious relics from human history. I had made a really incredible discovery, only to lose it to a greedy corporation. So I tried to steal it back. In the process, I met Walter. Turned out he owned the corporation. After a long talk, we realized we had a lot in common, and I was invited to join Constellation. Take care of yourself.
Sarah is the best possible person to be running Constellation at a time like this. Focused, no nonsense, and dedicated.
Makes it back to us. I know he gets into trouble all the time, and everyone just sort of accepts he'll be fine, but still. It's been quieter around here ever since Vladimir went to live on the Eye full time. Oh, right, that. If we're approaching this rationally, I suppose we'd call them visual and auditory hallucinations. What you perceived as lights and music could be overloaded neural input, your brain's attempt to make sense of something, an energy surge, some other phenomenon. He did. At the time, well, it's Barrett. We weren't sure if he was kidding around. Clearly, he wasn't. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of people report in these situations. I'm not saying you didn't really see anything, just that it's really hard to determine after the fact. That's okay. Now that this has happened to both you and Barrett, we can know to maybe expect it in the future. Be a little more prepared. We're all in this together now, right? Oh, gosh, no. I mean, that's flattering, but really, we're making this up as we go. Until you arrived, we only had the two, and the vaguest sense that there was something more at work. There's still so much we don't know, and that means a lot of work ahead of us. Well, right now, nothing's off the table. Metallurgical analysis, chemical composition, I'm looking at everything. One thing I'm really trying to improve is my overall database of xenobiology. I don't know if it will help in this case, but the more we know about, well, everything, the better off we are, right? Speaking of, if you're going to be out there looking for more artifacts, you're bound to come across some interesting specimens. Anything organic, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. I can't be certain that they will, but more data points are always a good thing. I don't want to rule out anything that could provide a breakthrough. And if it sweetens the deal, I can pay. Pretty well, too. Walter's pockets may not be bottomless, but they are pretty deep. Well, Constellation's been around forever, more than 50 years now. But we only became aware of the artifacts recently. Barrett discovered the first one about 2 years ago, right under our noses. And he was the one who got this all in motion. It's a shame he isn't here to see this. Of course, there's plenty of planets out there that no one has ever set foot on, and everything we learn about them is valuable. We have a board where we post anything specific we're looking for. A type of alien flora or fauna, or a planet with a specific quality, like if it's primed to have life but doesn't yet. Great, let's see what you have. Stay safe, okay?
Captain Reynolds, do you require my assistance?
So, are you ready to get to work? Or was there something else? We're explorers. Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. We just take that a little more seriously than others. We were founded decades ago by a man named Sebastian Banks. He wanted a small group of people from all corners of the settled systems dedicated to the biggest question of all. What's out there? These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. Another great secret the universe is asking us to unravel. I don't know what you've heard, but I can imagine. First of all, I think you can dismiss any stories about us no longer existing. I don't believe in smearing our name everywhere we can. Exploring the universe, charting the unknown, that's what counts. Besides, having a little mystery gives us room to maneuver. A fixed reputation could fence us in a lot of ways. Not much, but you've seen them for yourself. It doesn't take a lot to realize we're dealing with something extraordinary. Just what that is, we'll have to figure out. It's what we do. We're going to be doing some old-fashioned detective work. The artifacts are relatively inert once they're out of bedrock. That means people can pass them around, not even knowing what they are. I've been letting my contacts know to be on the lookout for strange metal objects. Get back a lot of noise, usually, but a tip from the UC Vanguard sounds promising. A volunteer force that helps defend the edges of United Colonies space. They're always looking for recruits. Lots of retired veterans and dangerous professionals mixed in with part-timers who barely have a laser cannon welded to a hull. My contact is in the recruiting office, so he hears a lot about what the volunteers are up to. We have to assume that we're not the only ones to have stumbled into this mystery. But most people aren't going into space looking for the unknown. They're looking for places to settle, resources to extract, territory to defend. An odd-looking rock or a single strange hunk of metal wouldn't mean much to them. That's why Constellation exists, in a way, to put pieces like this together. You've done this before, eh? Wise words. If we watch each other's backs, we'll be fine. But it's not just that. I want to take this opportunity to see how you handle yourself, and for you to learn more about us. I'm going to be sticking with you for this. We'll be traveling together until we either find an artifact or this lead runs dry. You mean besides the ship, the robot, and a place to stay all rent-free? We do have some funds we can disperse from time to time. Not to mention, I think we can get you a proper suit. We're explorers. We keep a lot of equipment on hand for that purpose. So the more you work with us, the more we can share what we have. Go ahead. Just don't take too long or my contact's information might go bad.
Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results. How can I be of service, Captain? Commencing item exchange protocols. I will see you at a later time. Captain Reynolds, it is pleasant to see you. Good day, Captain. I will follow behind you.
I'm sorry, I really can't afford to be distracted. I need to get to the bottom of this. Yes, concerned is an understatement. I work for the scientific division of MAST. I've been studying this tree for quite some time, and it appears to be exhibiting some worrying signs. Are you familiar with this particular specimen? Do you understand its importance? Look, I have a lot of work to do here. If you're just going to gawk, I'd ask that you move on. If you can actually assist me, however, I would appreciate it. I don't normally solicit help from random passersby, but it seems an exception is necessary. Would you be willing to retrieve some additional data for me? A mercenary, huh? Well, I'm sure we can work something out. So, are you on board? Well, thank you. That's unexpected. There's a series of biosensors I've placed in various locations around New Atlantis, all calibrated to gather pertinent information. They've been running for long enough that I think it's time to collect and analyze their findings. If you would bring them to me, that would save time.
Life in New Atlantis moves pretty fast. I do my best to keep up. Need something but don't have a lot of time? That's why I'm here. Nice and steady, just the way I like it. I've got a good location, plenty of foot traffic, and a ton of people who are in a hurry and need to make a quick stop for the essentials. Things keep going this way, I'm going to start opening franchises all over the settled systems. You kidding me? Nowhere else like it in the settled systems. First time I came here as a kid, I knew I was going to come back and make my mark on this city. Nowhere I'd rather be. And now that I've got this place up and running, it's all coming together. I've got all your basics right here. Have a good one.
Vessels were lured into a fake distress call when it would be dangerous.
One of my friends told me he actually likes going into the well. He says it's not as bad as everyone says. Weird, huh?
I hope you are enjoying your time in New Atlantis.
Lucky you. I don't remember anything after the second class. Not one bit. Do yourself a favor and get any of their entrees. You'll thank me.
Shift's over. Time for the roost. The roost is where it's at.
Bleh.
I was making a critique of the coffee here. Suffice to say, it wasn't a positive review. I just don't understand why such a first-class restaurant can be satisfied with serving second-rate coffee. Of course, it could just be my palate. It's quite refined, which is both a blessing and curse. All the towers offer breathtaking views, for a price. It isn't the name on the building that matters, but how many floors are beneath you. But if you're looking for a living space, you want to speak with Miss Sanguini at the Realtor's office. She's the authority on the subject. I know you didn't just say Terra Brew. Surely my ears must be deceiving me, because to even imply that I would put that liquid garbage into my body is an insult I cannot tolerate. It is, as the saying goes, to die for, and I mean that quite literally. I think the most commonly requested meal for those on their deathbeds is a Jemison Wellington. Funny you should ask. I recently dined with a friend of mine with ties to the Freestar Collective, and he claims the best cup of joe he's ever had was in Aquila City. Ah, but in this case, my friend brought proof. In his hand was a single coffee bean, fermented in the digestive tract of an alien beast. It's not an entirely new idea. In the old world, growers used elephants. They believed the stomachs of these ancient beasts would ferment the bean and draw out its true flavor. Yes, you would be replacing the man I hired. I had him seek not just Ashta, but predators throughout the settled systems. But it seems after consuming the beans, the beast decided to make a meal of him. So I need someone to find this beast and remove my property from its stomach. As for compensation, you'll receive 2,000 credits when the job is complete. The man I hired had a transponder on him. When the predator consumed him, it also consumed the device. Rest assured, I'll have all the information forwarded to your ship's tracking systems. Not at all. The risks were written into his contract. I am not responsible for his burial or the unpleasantness of his tomb. Excellent. I will have the coordinates sent to your ship. See you.
There is simply no parallel to the food you will find here. One taste, and I'm sure you'll agree, all of our signature dishes are unique to the Roost. You won't find anything like them anywhere else. The Dawn's Roost represents the highest quality, from the ingredients to the decor. No expense is spared. Anyone who has sampled our offerings will assure you it is all worth it. My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
We got the other children. Grandkids, too.
But Sheila had such fire in her. She could have been anything.
I miss her, too. But after the accident, it's a mercy she went the way she did.
I used to be
Even
an
an
actuary.
extra day,
Now look at
too,
me.
with her. That would have been the blessing. I miss my Sheila every day.
I think we're still recovering from the colony war.
There ain't no such thing as a good war.
I miss my daughter, too. But we've so many other things to be thankful for.
Last stop, Apollo. My favorite. And we can afford it. Mercury is much cheaper.
Got the mortgage approval signed and ready with Gold Bank. Apollo's got the best view of the city. And it's closer to Nat.
Like by 30 feet.
Like I said, it's closer.
We've seen 7 apartments so far. The apartments are all leading together to me.
With the consignment shop closed, I guess I have to go to EIT. Another day, another shift.
neutrino weapons outlawed, and all research related to those fields would be kept under lock and key in their own special archive, which actually rests below our feet as we speak. And while these new restrictions transformed the settled systems overnight, entire economies were upended with the flick of a pen. They also marked the start of something critical: cooperation between the United Colonies and the Free Star Collective for the first time in decades. A pledge between the powers for a more harmonious future. Thank you for listening.
You should see the setup they've got for the Vanguard orientation inside Mast. Makes
It's a
this space look
fascinating
amateur.
subject, the colony war, though I'm thankful I didn't have to participate.